Lahore Grammar School, Quetta, lesson by Faiza Shah for grade 7. Component is language arts. The passage has been taken from the book The Outsider. It is written by S.A. Hinton, and the passage is called Fire because it talks about uh, the fire. It is very necessary to talk about S.A. Hinton. Susan was only 15 when she started writing this book. And this book turns 53 this year because it was published when she was only 19 years old in 1967. The reason she wrote this book was that she was dissatisfied with the way teenagers were portrayed at the time. And that is why it talks about two kinds of teenagers, the one of lower class, however, the other of elite class. And the book actually talks about boys who are of lower class. They're teenagers and they always get into fight with the elite class boys to an extent that they're always in competition and disagreements and in arguments. And one day, just in self-defense, one of the boys get to kill the opponent, the boy from the other group, the elite class. Okay, so now that you have the background of the boys of lower class getting into fight with the elite class and end up killing one of the boys named Bob, the boys are now in hiding. So the passage now starts like this: that the boys are now in hiding, and they decided that they would remain in hiding. One of the boys, he bleached his hair so that he becomes blonde and so that the police doesn't identify him and stuff like that. So one of their friends, he found them and decided to drive them home in order to protect them from police. So while they were driving past the church, that's an abandoned old church, they saw it on fire. Ponyboy thinks that he and Johnny must have started the fire with a cigarette butt. So the boys jump out of the car to examine the blaze. Their friend, the one who was driving the car, he kept calling them, and he didn't wanted them to get into another in another trouble. So he wanted them to get into hiding, but they wanted, since they felt bad about starting the fire, they thought that we should go and examine and see if there's someone who needs their help, and that nobody gets hurt in the fire, otherwise they won't be able to forgive themselves. So at the church they find a group of school children on a picnic. Suddenly one of the adults, one of the teachers, they cries out that some of the children are missing, and Ponyboy hears screaming from inside the church. Acting on instinct, he and Johnny climb into the burning building through a window at the back of the church. They find the children huddled together and they were terrified. As he runs through the smoky inferno, Ponyboy wonder why is he not scared. He and Johnny lift the children out of the window. Dally is the friend who was trying to protect them, and he's the one who was driving them home in order to protect them from the police. Dally appears and yells that the roof is about to cave in. It means that the roof is about to fall. As they lift the last child out of the window, the roof actually crumbles, and Johnny pushes Ponyboy out of the window, and then Ponyboy hears Johnny scream. Ponyboy starts to go back in for Johnny, but Dally clubs him across the back and knocks him out because Dally, he kept telling those two boys, Ponyboy and Johnny, not to go in. They went inside. They actually saved all the little boys and girls, or the children in the church who were about to be burned down with the church. They saved them all, but then Ponyboy thought that Johnny would not be able to make it, so he wanted to go back. So that is why Daddy clubs him down. He hit him in the head so that he doesn't go back to get Johnny. However, Johnny, he yelled because that big roof fell on his back. Now, when Ponyboy wakes, he is in an ambulance, accompanied by one of the school teachers, Jerry Wood. The teacher tells him that his back caught on fire and that the jacket that he was wearing, which Dali lent him, saved his life. When he was in the fire, he kept thinking about removing the jacket because it was very hot in there. So he was thinking how I hope that I would have, left this jacket outside. But when he wakes up, when he gets back to his consciousness, the first thing that the teacher tell him is that that jacket saved your life because you were wearing it and it was so thick that it didn't caught fire and you were saved. So um, he says that Dali was burned but will probably be fine. Johnny, however, is in a very bad shape. He was struck by a piece of burning timber as it fell, and he may have broken his back. The man jokingly also asked, because he didn't want a pony boy to get worried about his friends. So he said jokingly, he asked Ponyboy if he and Johnny are professional heroes. Um, Ponyboy has suffered mild burns. Jerry stays with him while he's in the hospital, and Ponyboy confides the story of Bob's death. Jerry agrees that Johnny killed Bob in self defense. So he's now, you know, he's safe that he won't be arrested because he didn't want it to kill Bob, but he had to kill him because Bob was trying to kill him. So it was a self defense. Here you can see Johnny Boy, Pony Boy, and Johnny both. They are in the church trying to save the children, and in another picture you can see their car, and you can see the church on fire. You can see the school bus and the children, and this is it. Pony Boy. Felt that he should not smoke, something that no one has ever said to Ponyboy before. But Dairy and Soda Pop arrive. They are all these boys. Their names are like that: Soda Pop, Dairy, then Ponyboy, Johnny. So Soda Pop hugs Ponyboy and Dairy cries, shocking Ponyboy. The anger he has felt toward Dairy dissolves. Ponyboy realizes that Derry does care about him. Derry is strict because he loves Ponyboy and wants him to succeed. Ponyboy runs across the room and embraces his brother, thinking that everything will be fine once he gets home. Right? Now, the questions. Why did the narrator, that's Ponyboy, feel he was safe from receiving a hiding at the hands of Dali? Why do you think he thought that Dali would be a good person to hide them, to save them from the police? Obviously, because he was a good friend. Why was the man with the good natured grin not very concerned at first about the church being on fire? The good-natured person grinned because obviously it was an abandoned church. Nobody was inside, and they were sure that even if it fell into pieces, nobody will get hurt. But unfortunately, there were children inside, which they later realized. What was the first indication that the children were in the burning church? Obviously, the person, one of the teachers, found out that there's some children missing, and that's how they realized that there are some children missing and they must be inside the church. What were the children doing when Ponyboy found them in the burning church? They were huddled together and they were terrified, and one of the boys were really shouting. Why did Ponyboy feel responsible for the children who were trapped in the church? Because he thought that he's the one. He and his friend both. They are responsible for starting the fire because they were smoking there. Now, there are dictionary words that are given give the meaning of the following words from the passage. It's startle, embers, smarting, haze, and dilly. So you need to find the meaning of these words. It's already there in your book, as at the back of your book, so you can find the meanings of it and try to use them in your daily routine so that your vocabulary gets better and better every day. You stay home, stay safe, and I'll be looking forward to receiving your homeworks. Thank you.